this is Phoneybeetlemaniacxs, and yes, that was my new intro. By the band name is Cheat Shrine. Go and check them out. I think they're a decent podcast. Trust me, in the recent time, I don't think I've ever said that, so I think they're a decent podcast, and plus their music's free. This is going to be a response to EssenceofThought and his video, A Challenge for Christians, in which he uses 3 fictional things taken from stories from the Old Testament and say that Christians have to think they're immoral or think they're moral and support God. Now, I'm not going to talk about the Old Testament because, again, my understanding of the Old Testament isn't as good as my understanding of the New one. However, I am going to talk about the New Testament because I think he gets some things incorrect. Now, he talks about Matthew 5:17-20, which Jesus talks about the fulfilling of the law. Now, what he's talking about there, Essence, is he's talking about the fulfilment of the Messianic hopes, which is the 10 Commandments. Basically, he's coming there to fulfill the 10 Commandments. Because the Jews have gone away from that. They've gone towards this pagan understanding of Judaism, which they think that killing things will basically make them closer to God, when that isn't really what's going on. So Jesus is there to basically go against that. Now, there are 3 things that I'd probably point to support this. One would be the visitation scene and its connection to 2 Samuel chapter 6, the connection towards the whole thing with the Exodus and turning the River Nile into blood and water to wine, and the connection there, and probably the biggest one is the fact that the Last Supper happens on the Passover. Which is why people say, oh, Easter was a pagan festival. Not really. It comes from, if you look where Passover is and where they're pretty damn close, and that's the reason why. Okay, so that's that. Okay. Second of all, Jesus was against the actual fundamental of killing people. He was against that. He was against. That's why we see the thing of him stopping the prostitute getting killed. That's why we see him saying it's okay to work on the Sabbath if you're helping people. That's why we see him sitting with people that people would consider sinners. This is why he was such a thing to the Pharisees. The Pharisees were all for killing people. They were all for the Noahide laws. They were all for the killing people side of things, because that's what kept people in order. Because if you're gonna kill somebody, that usually keeps them in order because they don't want to be killed. Whereas Jesus was like, well, you're basically being a terrorist, and that's the reason that he was challenging that they accused him of being basically in league with the devil, because he was teaching something that was a lot softer than what they were teaching. Now, it seems quite funny that you would say, oh, well, you have to believe this. Again, it's a straw man. It's a straw man because you're saying to Christians, oh, well, you have to believe this or you're not a true Christian. Which, again, it's an old true Scotsman fallacy, followed by begging the question, followed by a lot of other fallacies that I don't really want to get into. Now, I am a Unitarian Christian, have been since since a couple of years ago. And I have no problem in just saying that I don't agree with those Old Testament laws, because the Old Testament to me is about the Jews trying to survive, and therefore the laws to me are null and void, because Jesus is the fulfillment of the Messianic hopes, and the Messianic hopes are the 10 Commandments in made flesh, because those are the sort of things that God does when he tends to come on earth. Okay, so that's basically my response to you. Now, if you want to do a response to me, that's fine. Just make sure you don't call me a moron, because I might get a bit cross with you. But if you want to discuss this, we can do so. But let's try and keep it civil for me. Calling somebody a moron is not exactly civil now, is it? Even if you disagree with their position, let's not denote ourselves into going, name calling us. We're both intelligent people. I'd like to think that I am, at least. So let's keep this civil. Anyway, this has been Phoneybeetlemaniacxs, and see you next time.